People living in a downtown Cincinnati tent city are telling the city's other 300,000 residents, "We want your money."
The homeless people issued a set of demands this afternoon. The same day, some on city council were demanding that the city enforce the law and remove the camps. Local 12's Jeff Hirsch joins us live on 3rd Street with this latest development. Jeff?
Oh, good evening. It wasn't that long ago here on 3rd Street. I think it was in May. There was literally one tent here on 3rd Street. Now it stretches for several blocks. There's got to be at least 20 of them. The indication on Friday was that today would be the day the city would post some sort of notice on this camp and the one that's down on Mehring and Pete Rose way. But so far, no action in that regard, just a lot of talk. The very visible tent city on 3rd Street and the not quite as visible but definitely there homeless camp near Mehring Way and Pete Rose Way are testing the city's patience.
I think as a city we have to act decisively and quickly so that we don't turn into like a San Francisco.
How to help the homeless without surrendering the streets.
We do look forward to continuing the conversations with the homeless advocates to figure out long-term solutions, but we are working on this, and for health and safety reasons, we need to act as expeditiously as possible.
But the city and the homeless may define expeditiously a bit differently or a lot differently. The city can legally shut down the camp with 72 hours notice. But this afternoon, the 3rd Street group, which calls itself the Colony, issued a series of demands in conjunction with the Homeless Coalition. Among the demands, no eviction, public restrooms with showers, garbage and recycling bins, a city-constructed no-barrier all-year shelter, and dealing long-term with issues of housing and social services.
What the people really want, they want housing, but they want help with their mental health. Like was said earlier, if you give a person rent for 6 months, if they don't deal with their mental health, they'll be homeless again in 90 days. So the people want help, but they want people to engage with them, conversate with them, and just, they one of them. They don't want to feel alienated. They want to feel home.
The demands other than the long-term issues may not fly at City Hall. At this morning's Law Committee, Chair Christopher Smitherman said the city is not about to recognize creation of a 53rd neighborhood. And if the administration wants to enforce the 72 hours eviction notice, Smitherman supports it.
At the end, I think it's clear that we have to send the message that putting up tents, because somebody now says, I want to put a tent up in Hyde Park Square. I now want to go to Mount Lookout. I now want to go to Mount Washington. I now want to go to Clifton. I now want to go to Bond Hill. I mean, this is not something that we can do.
It seems like years ago, but it was actually just last week that a homeless camp under a bridge, maybe 3 or 4 blocks from here at 3rd and Plum, was closed down by the city under that 72-hour eviction. They gave them a little more time than 72 hours, but that one is fenced off and gone. But that's under a bridge. It's easy to fence this off. Of course, some of the people who left there got into housing. Some of them just came down the block. Live on 3rd Street, Jeff Hirsch, Local 12 News. Back to you.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Vice Mayor Christopher Smitherman says the city has spent $42 million in capital improvements for homeless shelters in recent years. And it's his understanding there is room in those shelters. It's just that some people don't want to go.